Chapter 2 Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. O Lord of Rukmini, residing on the back of Chandrabhaga, God of gods, friend of the poor, kindly look at me. O God, everything is futile without your favor. No one cares for a lifeless body. Beauty of a lake is due to the water in it. Juicy core of the fruits give importance to its husk. Same is with your blessings. Kindly oblige me by removing all my sins, vows, and poverty. In the last chapter, we have seen that Shri Gajanan suddenly left Pankatlal and went away. Since then, Sri Bankatlal was craving to see Sri Gajanan again. Forgetting all worldly things like food and water, he was constantly thinking of Sri Gajanan only, like a calf for its mother. But he could not share his mental condition with anybody, not even his father. His search continued throughout Shegaon, but could not find Sri Gajanan. His father, however, noticed the anxiety and despair written largely on the face of his young son. He asked him the reason for his unhappiness, especially because God had blessed him abundantly with everything required for a happy life. Pankatlal did not reply and continued his search for Sri Gajanan. At last, Pankatlal told everything of Sri Gajanan and his search for him to a neighbor, Ramaji Pant Deshmukh, a pious old man. Hearing the details from Bankatlal, Ramaji Pant said that he must be some yogi, and meeting of such yogis is only possible if one has to his credit a lot of good deeds of previous birth. He therefore encouraged Bankatlal to continue his search and also to take him to the darshan of that yogi when found. After a few days, there came the renowned Kirtanka, Govind Bua Taklikar, to Shegaon. His kirtan was arranged in Shankarji's temple, where a lot of people assembled to listen to him. Pankatlal also went there. He met his friend Pitambar in the temple and narrated to him everything about Sri Gajanan. They sat listening to the kirtan, and lo, there was Shri Gajanan Maharaj sitting there and listening attentively to Govind Bua. They were delighted, as does a miser at the sight of a gold or a peacock at a glimpse of a cloud. Pankaj and Pitambar got up, went straight to Sri Gajanan, bowed before him, and asked him if he would like to eat something. Shri Gajanan Maharaj simply looked up and said, "Go and bring some bread from the house of some Mali." Pankatlal immediately brought bread and put it before Shri Gajanan Maharaj. He ate it and asked Pitambar to bring some water in his tumba from the river. Pitambar said that the river was practically dry and so offered to bring water from somebody's house. Sri Gajanan insisted to go get the water from the river only and with further condition that water be not filled by hand but taken directly by dipping the tumba in the water. Pitambar went to the river and saw that the water in the river was not at all sufficient to dip the tumba in it. What to do? He was in a fix. Ultimately, he dared and lowered the tumba in the water, and lo, there was a miracle. The tumba went straight full of water, and the dirty water from the river became clean in the tumba, as it was full. He tried again and was surprised to see that whenever he touched the tumba into the water, clean water rushed in it to the brim. He now understood that it was due to the yogic power of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Pitambar brought and offered the water to Shri Gajanan. He drank the water and said, "Don't try to satisfy me with the bread of that Mali. I want a nut from you." Bankatlal gave him a nut and along with that offered a copper coin as dakshina. Shri Gajanan said that he was not a businessman to accept money and asked for bhakti only. Then Shri Gajanan asked Bankatlal and Pitambar to listen to the kirtan attentively. Govind Bua started the kirtan with a stanza from Sri Bhagavad. Govind Bua recited the first part of the stanza and Sri Gajanan loudly recited the latter part of it. Govind Bua was surprised and said that the man who recited the stanza must be a man of great authority. Saying so, he requested Sri Gajanan Maharaj to come inside the temple. Likewise, all the other people also requested Sri Maharaj, but Sri Gajanan ignored them all. Then Govind Bua himself came out and said to Maharaj, "You are an incarnation of Lord Shankar. Please come in. The temple will be empty without you. By the grace of some good deeds of my previous birth, I have come across a saint like you. So kindly come into the temple." Sri Maharaj said, "Be firm on what you say. Just now you said that God is everywhere. Then why are you forcing me to come into the temple? You should practice what you preach, and a student should avoid playing with words. It is not proper to behave against the stanza from Sri Bhagavad just now preached by you. I do not wish you to be a preacher preaching just for livelihood. Now go and continue your kirtan. Govind will return and announce to the audience, an invaluable gem has come to your Shega. Protect him carefully. With the arrival of this Panduranga in human form, Shega now becomes Pandharpur. See that he lives with you. Serve him well and obey him. That will bring you happiness. Pankatlal, braving with joy, returned home, told Father Bhavani Ram about Shri Gajanan and got his consent to bring Shri Maharaj home, then started his search for Shri Gajanan. After 4 days of wandering, Pankatlal saw Shri Gajanan Maharaj in Manik Chowk. It was evening and the sun was setting, but for Shri Pankatlal it was a rising sun in the form of Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Cows returning home were gathering around Shri Gajanan, thinking him to be Shri Krishna. Shopkeepers were preparing to light the lamps when Shri Pankatlal brought Shri Maharaj to his house. Bhavani Ram, overjoyed at the sight of a saint, prostrated before him and covered a wooden pitha and offered a wooden pitha to sit and said, "You are Sri Shankar incarnate, coming to us in the evening time. I wish to offer you food. Kindly accept it. I am really very fortunate to have you at my place in the evening time." Skanda Purana says that it is great fortune to get Lord Shankar in the evening time for worship. Saying so, respectfully worshipped Sri Maharaj with Bilva Patra. Pankatlal's father had requested Sri Maharaj to take food, but in fact the food was not yet ready. And if the saint does not wait till the food gets ready, it would be a great disappointment, as this would mean Lord Shankar going without food in the evening time from his house. So he was in a fix. What to do? He thought over and decided to offer Sri Maharaj puris, which were prepared in the morning, as fried food is not treated as stale. Moreover, he knew that his mind was pious and sincere in offering food to Sri Gajanan. Accordingly, he brought a thali full of puris, almonds, dates, bananas, and oranges and put it before Sri Gajanan, applied bukka on his forehead, and put a garland around his neck. Sri Gajanan ate everything that was served and consumed about 3 seers of food and stayed that night with Bankatlal. Next morning, Bankatlal gave Sri Gajanan a ceremonious bath with 100 pitchers of water. Men and women washed him with soap and massaged his body with scented oil. After bath, a very costly pitambar was given to him to wear and made him sit on a well-decorated high seat. Garlands of flowers and tulsi were put around his neck. Kesar paste was applied on his forehead, and fruits and sweets were offered to eat. Thus Bankat's house became Dwarka for all the devotees. That was Monday, the day of Lord Shankar. All people fulfilled the desire to worship Sri Gajanan except one. That was Icharam, cousin of Bankatlal. He was a devotee of Lord Shankar, and it being Monday, the day of Lord Shiva, wished to offer Sri Gajanan worship at evening time, treating him to be Lord Shiva. At sunset, Icharam took bath and with great devotion offered puja to Sri Gajanan. He told Sri Maharaj that he had a fast since morning and would take food only if Sri Gajanan accepted and ate food offered by him. Saying so, Icharam bought a thali full of rice, many varieties of sweets, curry, puris, ghee, fruits, and many other things sufficient to feed at least 4 persons, and put it before Sri Gajanan. Looking to that thali, Sri Maharaj said to himself, "You greedy Ganepya, always want to eat and eat. Now eat all this food without hesitation and let all these people see your greediness." Saying so, he started eating everything that was served to him and did not leave even a grain of salt in the thali. Then, to show the result of forceful eating, Sri Gajanan vomited everything that he ate. Same thing was once done by Sri Ramdas Swami. It so happened that he felt crazed to eat sweet kheer. He asked for it and ate to his full. Overeating resulted in vomiting. Sri Ramdas started eating back what he vomited just to win over the desire. Similarly, Sri Gajanan, though quite strong to digest anything, vomited only to teach a lesson to those who pressurized for eating. Thereafter the devotees cleaned the place, gave a bath to Shri Gajanan and made him sit on a raised seat. Many people came to pay respect to Shri Gajanan. They started singing devotional songs. Shri Maharaj was very happy to listen to them, and while in that mood began chanting to himself, Gana Gana Ganata Bote, in the tune with the bhajan. It continued the whole night. Because of his above utterance of Gana Gana Ganata Bote, people started calling him as Gajanan. In fact, he himself being Brahma needs no name. Yogis are perpetually engrossed in their yogic trance, and the joy that they derive out of it has no comparison. As people go to Pandharpur in Asad, Nasik in Sinhasta, or Haridwar for Kumbh Mela, so they started going to Shega for Shri Gajanan Maharaj. Shri Swami Samarth Gajanan, himself Vittal Narayan, is standing like a rock of determination at Shega. His words were the bank of holy Godavari, and the joy begotten out of it was Haridwar, and the whole Shega was crowded by people to meet Sri Gajana in this temple, which was Bankat Lal's house. Thus, innumerable people were coming to Bankat Lal's house for darshan of Sri Gajanan. One who has attained Brahmapad has no caste. Everything and everybody is equally blessed by the rays of the sun. Fresh batches of people were coming daily to Shegao, and food was served to hundreds of people. In fact, it is all beyond the description of a small power of a, in fact, it is all beyond the power of description of a small fly like me. Everything is being said and narrated by Sri Gajanan himself by using me as a tool. For that purpose, his life story is vast, and I fall too short to describe it. However, I now narrate to you his daily routine. At times, he took good baths. And sometimes used to drink dirty water. His daily routine was most uncertain, like the speed of air. He loved smoking, but had no craving for it. Now listen to the next chapter with faith. Das Guru desires this book to be an ideal guide for the devotees. Shubham Bhavatu here ends chapter 2. Swami Samastad Gurnath Shri Gajanan Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Gajanan.